Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Unfortunately, the first part of this video, the first minute, didn't record for some reason. So, real quick, what I'm doing here is coloring my character Ralfio, which in a previous video y'all may have seen. I tried to color him with marker, and I didn't like how it turned out. But here I'm experimenting by coloring over the marker with my colored pencils, my Prismacolor Premiers, and I think it turned out really nice. But here in just a minute, the original audio is going to start picking back up again, and y'all can follow along with me from there. And thank y'all very much for joining me. But he is such a fun character that I just couldn't resist finishing him. You know, and a lot of his outfit, being that he's an outlaw and kind of a rough character, I imagine most of the stuff he has on his person was not bought in no store or anything. He probably confiscated it through different means. But you know, I'm also gonna use, once I get through this area that I had already colored with markers, I'm gonna start using a colorless blending pencil in this video, which if y'all saw my video where I colored Peeper the Frog Man, I did not use one of those, but I'm going to try out the colorless blender on this one. And his whiskers and everything are a couple different shades of orange. I've got orange and mineral orange for the darker tone, which most of the areas on him have multiple colors, some doesn't. And here I actually forgot to get colors for his nose and lips, so I'm going to cut the feet in just a second, and you'll see written at the bottom that I have written in what I had added for the colors for the lips and nose. And I did kind of cheat as well. Before I started this video, I had already colored in the eyes and teeth and gums kind of as a trial run. And there we go, there's the nose and lip colors. I actually had to pause and restart this video multiple times for different reasons. One, I had a knock at the door, had to answer, but that's okay, I got through it. And now I'm finally finished with the previously colored areas, and I'm about to start on his bandana, in which the bandana I am using a crimson lake and a black cherry, and this will be the first part of him that I'm going to use the colorless blending pencil, and we'll see how it works out. But in the part of the story of Ramara where you have Edgar as the retired detective coming back into service, Ralfio is the main antagonist of that storyline of Ramara. Ramara has at least 3 main storylines that throughout various times of history in its world, but in this one, at least the first part of the saga, Ralfio is the main antagonist. And Vugler, which you may have seen him on some of my shorts, and here's the blending pencil that I'm showing you there, coming in there. Okay, But yeah, Vugler is actually related to Ralfio. Can't tell you just yet how, but Vugler is the hired gun to protect Edgar. So, as my story plays out, I'll get into more in depth of all that. But for now I'm going in with my black cherry pencil to do some highlights, or some shading, make the darker areas. And hit it a little bit more with the blending pencil. I do like those colorless pencils. And I'm using a white here to just do a little bit of highlights. Now on the arm sleeves, I'm using a various amount of French gray. Sorry, I couldn't remember if I had used the warm gray or the French gray, but I'm using French gray 10% through 90%. That'd be 10, 20, 30, 50, 70, and 90. The upper part that I'm doing right now, I'm only using 70 and 90. But the lower part of the sleeve up to the gloves, I'd be using a little bit of the 10 for the outside where the light would be shining on it, but mostly 20 and 30 and some 50. And on the inside, I'm mostly using 90, some 70%, because that's of course much darker in that area, being that the light can't get there. And I also apologize to everybody if I sound a bit stuffy. I've been dealing with a little bit of a cold, but I'm trying to work through it. I'm also hoping in this coloring video my camera stays steady. I've readjusted my camera. The tripod that I was using for my last video where I was coloring my map of Ramara, I noticed the camera shaking, and that was because I had the tripod propped on the table that I was coloring on, which wasn't as noticeable watching it on a cell phone, but when you watch that on a TV, it's definitely noticeable. And now on this over vest or sleeveless vest, I'm using a chestnut and burnt ochre. I think that's how you pronounce that. Not 100% sure. But the stitching area is that burnt ochre. And of course I go light at first. You don't really want to press too hard with your colored pencils because it can damage the teeth of the paper. But of course I do start getting more firm and pressing, especially in the areas where I know there's going to be shadow. I think that's looking really nice. There we go. Let's do a little bit of final shading here. That's where I'm coming in and pressing a little bit firmer, but still not too firm. That's what's good about these Prismacolors Premiers, is their wax lead is really soft and it can really blend real good. Here I am coming in with the colorless blender again. The downside to the Prismacolors are, because of their soft wax-based lead, they tend to break easy, and also it's a pain sometimes with a pencil sharpener. I can sharpen half a pencil away sometimes just trying to get a sharp tip. Now I'm finally coming in with these sleeves, and that's using that French gray, 10, 20, and 30%, a little bit of 50% as well. This is my longest video to date, I do believe. So I hope y'all do enjoy this. I think my landscaping video was longer, but that was before I knew exactly how to edit properly, and a lot of that video was just music playing afterwards. So technically this is not the longest, but the longest, at least as far as actual video. And now these gun hilts are a light umber and sienna brown. And he's got, as you see, a lot of different browns, but you know, I think it looks nice, the different hues and shades of all the different browns kind of meshed together. And the French grays are also kind of a brownish base to me, I believe. The holsters are also going to be sienna brown. Very nice. These gloves here, sandbar brown is what I used on the gloves. I did go pretty light with the sandbar brown on these. I don't believe I really darkened them too much. Of course, around the knuckles and the shading I did, but I like the way this one looked. With a little bit less pressure. Yeah, around the stitching and everything, it's a bit darker. That colorless blender right there. And another thing about the blending pencils is in a way, it helps save your colored pencils because it's spreading the color out, and so you're not having to use quite as much, if that makes sense. And on that knife, I'm using a combination of a 10% cool gray, a 10% warm gray for the wrapping on the hilt, and the knife sheath is a burnt ochre. And now for the belt buckle, which the belt buckle is a goldenrod and a yellow ochre, which the yellow ochre is for the lighter tones, and the goldenrod is a much darker yellow. I forgot to do those spurs. I was going to do those with the cool gray, you see, but actually on that left leg I grabbed the wrong color. I tried to correct it, but no harm, no foul. And the leather belt part is a dark umber, which is one of the darkest. I think it's the second darkest brown I have, next to the sepia, or sepia. I don't really know how to pronounce that word neither, but that's what I'm going to use on the boots. A little bit of highlight with the white pencil. You can also blend with the white pencil too, but I don't really suggest doing it too much with darker colors. And now for the pants, which the pants are one single color, and it's the slate gray, which is one of my favorite colors for jean type material, especially these characters that are a Western style. And another thing about colored pencils on fabric, doing fabric like this, because of the texture that the colored pencil gives, I really enjoy the way it looks for clothing. I think above all, it looks better on clothing than anything else. So and I also think that on these pants, when I come in with the colors blender, I think it worked better for these pants than it did for anything else, in my opinion. There's the blender. I have two blenders. I don't know if anybody has noticed, but sometimes when I'm blending, I have a long pencil, and I'm using this one here, which is, of course, the one I've been using most of. But that's to avoid having to continuously sharpen back and forth when I'm going through the different colors. It's okay to use the blending pencil over from color to color as long as it stays within the same hue, but I wouldn't jump from something like brown to blue or anything like that. It will mix the colors in. And finally, for the boots here, which like I said, is the sepia, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But this video is going to wrap up soon, and I appreciate everybody for being here. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. It would really help a growing channel like mine out. And I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of y'all's day. Thank you for being here. Bye.